biodata or collective citation for the lecturer for today, Dr. Tolulope Gbadamosi, who was born on Saturday, October 25th, 1975, to the family of Pastor Josiah Olatunde and Evangelist Mary Olatunde of Gbadamosi compound. Yemetu Amokoko Amokoko. Please pardon me. Adeoye Ibadan in Oyo State. She started her elementary education at Ibadan Municipal Government Primary School, Agugu Ibadan, and the United Secondary School, Agugu Ibadan, for her secondary education. She was admitted to the St. Andrews College of Education, now Manuel Alayande University of Education, Oyo State, in 1993, and graduated in 1996, where she obtained the National Certificate of Education. She proceeded to her university for her university education through the direct entry to the then Department of Teacher Education, Faculty of Education, University of Ibadan. She graduated with a Bachelor's of Science Education, BSc Ed, with second class upper division in 2000. She further obtained her Master's and PhD in 2003 and 2012 respectively. Dr. Gbadamosi working experience started as a tutor at the Ogun State Staff Development Center, Ogun State, during the mandatory NYC from 2010 to 2000 to 2001. On completion of her NYC, she was employed by the Oyo State Teaching Service Commission, Teston, and deployed to the Community Secondary School, OKU, Oroki, Oyo, in 2002, where she served as a geography teacher between January and May. The same year, she was appointed as an assistant lecturer at the St. Andrews College of Education, Oyo, and shortly after her master's degree, she was upgraded to the position of lecturer 2. These dedicated scholars teach social studies, economics method, and entrepreneurship education at the undergraduate and undergraduate levels. As of January 2025, she has supervised more than 40 master's certifications and 5 PhD theses alongside several undergraduate research projects. Dr. Gbadamosi served in different capacities within the university community. She was the sub dean undergraduate Faculty of Education, University of Ibadan, between 2021 and 2023. A member of Faculty Inaugural Committee from 2017 to 2021, a focal person in Faculty of Education Gender Mainstream 2020 to date. She's also a facilitator to the Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation at her university and is chairperson of the Examination and Monitoring Committee, Faculty of Education 2021 to 2023. 2 times member of the Senate, University of Ibadan. She is currently an assistant awarding Queen Ida Award, University of Ibadan, from 2023 to date. She has 23 years of teaching, research, mentoring and consulting experience. Her research interests are in curriculum development and pedagogy in the effective teaching of entrepreneurship education, economics, environmental studies, and social studies. She has published over 50 research articles in local and international peer-reviewed journals and chapters in the book. She is an external examiner at the Obafemi University, also members of editorial team for some reputable journals within and outside Nigeria. Dr. Gbadamosi has received numerous awards and grants, which is a testament to her academic prowess. For instance, she won the Sophomore Best PhD Thesis Award in 2013 for her exceptional work in education. And in 2018, she was conferred with the fellowship in social entrepreneurship within health and humanitarian innovation at the Brown International Advanced Research Institute, USA. She has received funding from multiple bodies, including TED Fund, which funded a 2014 project on employing a token economic system to reduce truancy among primary school pupils in southwestern Nigeria, and COVID-19 related diseases preventive education strategies in 2021 as the co-investigator Furthermore, she has been awarded a grant by the Education Collaborative Network at Sheshiwasi, Accra, Ghana, which aims to enhance the employability of students in professional programs at the University of Ibadan, using the service learning model in Nigeria from 2022 to date. Dr. Gbadamosi has made no contribution towards advancing several professional and scholarly associations, which makes her a leading figure in the area. She is a member of the International Society for Teacher Education, the International Association for Economics Educators, and the European Association of Service Learning in Higher Education. Our participation in international conferences has certainly helped her promote our research globally. Some of her presentations were at the European Conference of Education in the UK in 2014, the annual International Conference of the Research Network of International Scholars in Togo in 2022, and the International Summer School Conference of African Center Enhancement and Skills, Abuja in 2023. Our study on service learning and economic literacy suggests including more practical learning activities in educational institutions to enhance the relevance of the academic curriculum and real-world situation. Our work on effective teaching and teacher development focuses on further improving teaching services as a form of professional development for educators. In addition, our studies on education for sustainable development underscored the concept of a green economy and its relevance to education, so that people are prepared to tackle environmental issues. Above all, Dr. Tolulope Gbadamosi is a beautiful wife and mother. She's married to Deacon Akintunde Samson Gbadamosi, the project manager, Oyo State Cash Transfer Unit, Secretariat, Ibadan. Their marriage is blessed with adorable children. And now I invite Dr. Tolulope Gbadamosi to present the faculty lecture with title Reimagining Education in Nigeria, Social Learning and Experiential Approaches to Addressing 21st Century Corruption. Dr. Gbadamosi.
Dean, Faculty of Education, Provost of the Postgraduate College, Deans of other faculties and of students, Directors of institutes, Heads of departments, Professors and other lecturers, amiable students, members of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I start this lecture by expressing my gratitude and praise to the Almighty God, the Creator of all things, and to the Dean of the Faculty of Education, for the opportunity given to me to present the 19th Faculty of Education lecture and the first from the Department of Art and Social Sciences Education. I acknowledge the founding fathers, educators, and researchers who laid the foundation for this academic and civic legacy, which we continue to build upon today. The title of this lecture was scientifically sourced from a field of study which I do not only have a strong passion for, but also for which I have labored for more than 2 decades to bring to reality. I've only admired the ritual of faculty lecture and hope a day will come when I will stand to declare the glory of God upon my life and career, starting from a classroom teacher, employed first by the Oyo State Teaching Service Commission, followed by the then Central College of Education, now Ibadan University of Education Oyo, and the University of Ibadan. However, I've never thought and anticipated that I would deliver this year's faculty lecture, considering the fact that the faculty is blessed with many scholars of international repute who can deliver a faculty lecture. Thank you for the honor. Little wonder, the great King Solomon in his address, Proverbs 69:6, in their hearts, human plans their course, but the Allah establishes their steps. It is therefore a rare privilege accorded me, and I am grateful for the opportunity and blessing that have led me to this moment, with support of my head of department, other headers, and colleagues who have strongly motivated me in my academic career up to this point. I can happily say To God be the glory. Mr. Dixon, the title of my lecture is Reimagining Education in Nigeria, Social Learning and Experiential Approaches to Addressing 21st Century Disruptions. The choice of the title of this lecture was born out of my experience as a young teacher from a community secondary school with little or no resources to facilitate result-oriented learning. The title is also in line with the mission of the University of Ibadan, which is to be a world-class institution for academic excellence geared towards meeting societal needs. Thus, I invite you all patiently to listen to my presentation. Mr. Disa and the wonderful founders, I want you all to imagine a world where the physical classrooms are replaced with screens, where family get-togethers are distracted by constant notifications and political discussions are based on propaganda instead of evidence. This is not far away future. This is what 21st century has been playing in us today. We exist in the world of street technological growth and widespread cultural changes in educational environment, economic changes, political instability, and eruption with global interconnectivity. All of these changes come at a cost. Our society of today are undergoing disruptions and changes in development, thinking, and policies like never before. Some of these disruptions and changes include policies of Trump's presidency in the United States of America on recognition of two biological sexes, male and female. It has affected the use of bedroom textbooks to be rewritten. Note, I'm not promoting transgender or homosexuality. Global tariff, China fights United States of America economic war is another one. Minister of Finance and Coordinated Economy of Nigeria, Mr. Wale Edun, said 2025 budget will be adjusted based on new USA tariff regime for Nigeria because we are going to pay from it. But now that it has been suspended, what will happen to our budgets? The religious and political conflict affecting Nigeria's education system is another issue. The social media influence on family values and global advocacy regarding technology roles in education is another concern. These changes are not singular in nature. They are interwoven, multi-layered, multidimensional, and multifaceted. Let us consider the following questions, which made their root from the former Prime Ministers of Britain, Winston Churchill, repeated remark: the further back you look, the further forward you can see. Is it within the ability of education to tackle these challenges? Is it possible for education to adapt to these disruptions and improve students with the tools necessary to survive and change their surroundings? Today, we look at social learning and other experiential methods and how they can solve educational problems in the 21st century. We examine how the social studies discipline relates to the realms of knowledge and the contemporary world. Alongside this, we also analyze some case studies, such as Sweden's introduction of printed books and the religious controversies within Nigeria's classroom. Moreover, we refine our understanding of university as hubs for teaching, research, and community service. We also look at how to promote transformative education. At the end of this presentation, you will all appreciate that education goes beyond mere transmission of information. Rather, it also develops advanced reasoning, nurture compassion, motivate people to act on the global challenge. Let us embark on this mind-blowing journey of how to rethink education as we ask ourselves, what will happen to the future of our society without it? Mr. Adinsa, learning is invaluable. The loss of it is not recoverable in one generation. This implies that learning serves as a tool that can greatly help the individual and society at large. And that is why one of our sons says that ẹ̀kọ́ dára púpọ̀, ẹ̀kọ́ ló láyé tá a wà yìí, ẹ̀yin òbí wa ẹ tàràtà láti fún wa lẹ́kọ̀ọ́. Losing for any reason, such as economic collapse and conflicts or cross-schooling, can be devastating for people. Because of this, the investment in education should never cease if the intention is to maintain the knowledge of coming generations. However, education is being disrupted by some factors. Disruption, according to this lecture, refers to break from the norm that created opportunity or challenges with a definite, powerful impact. Gbadamosi 2025. Such shifts can be multidimensional, including psychological, economic, and social, may result in radical transformation to the systems of industry. Examples include how digital photography that store images electrically replace film camera that require chemical processing in the dark room. Our fathers and mothers, they were able to remember dark room. And how streaming services disrupted traditional television broadcasting. Unlike before, that you used to look for a big house compound before you can have your broadcasting station. In the political context, the term disruption has also been applied to geographical shifts within political systems. For example, the election of Emmanuel Macron in France in 2017, who is not a professional politician, was characterized a form of political disruption. Technological disruption is another one. The increasing reliance on information and communication technologies has led to negative impact on well-being, including physical inactivity, sleep disorders, and myopia among youths. Tolulope 2024. Social media has also restricted direct interactions, leading to loneliness or misinformation. For instance, even at times at home, parents and children, they will be under the same roof, they will still be communicating on phone. Husband and wife ignoring one another, the two of them they are on bed, but they have already been engulfed with their phone. Dear audience, we are in confession time. Have you experienced it? I'm also guilty of this. There was a day my husband said, "Sweetheart, although you are at home, but you are absent, I did not feel you." The message to all of us that there is need for us to evaluate the way we need to assess the way we are using our phones. See no more. Another area is teaching and learning. Sweden has recognized its digitalized educational approach due to a decline in reading comprehension, with the average reading scores dropping behind countries like Singapore and England. This decline prompted Swedish ministers of school, Lothar Hedon, to advocate for a return to printed textbooks and traditional classroom instruction, stressing that physical books are vital for students' learning. In contrary, China is promoting total digitalization of education, AI right from grade 6. As a nation, what is our position? Is it full educational system digitalized or blended? In the educational context, disruption refers to significant interruption that challenge traditional systems and practices, often leading to transformative changes. The COVID-19 pandemic is a prime example. These disruptions, though challenging, offer an opportunity to reimagine education by fostering innovative, resilient, and equitable learning that better prepares students for the complexity of the 21st century. Mr. Dean, sir, in all its forms, Nigeria has experienced a variety of disruptions through insurgencies, economic crisis, religious conflicts, and even technological changes, which in turn has affected security, education, even community well-being. To cope with a disruption that affects society well-being, dialogue on disruption in Nigerian context is very, very important. Àgbájọ ọwọ́ la fi ń sọ̀yà, àjèjì ọwọ́ kan kò gbẹ́rù dórí. There is need for us to come together in order to address the issues. From the beginning of the 21st century, the education has been remarkably disrupted because of the following: economic instability, health crisis such as COVID-19, which led to shutdown of schools, widespread school closure globally and in Nigeria, resulting in global interruptions, a rush shift to remote learning, and notable losses due to digital infrastructure inadequacy and unequal access to technology. Policy evaluation and revision is another form of disruption. Each Minister of Education, they will not bother to know about what has been on the system before they were employed. They were appointed. They will just speak out, let us change this. For instance, the controversy on the age policy is one of them. What system of education are we even practicing in Nigeria? Is it 6334? Is it 12-4? Or otherwise? That is for my organs. to give us. Political instability, religious tensions also lead to destruction. We are one big family. Religion should not separate us. Irú ẹ̀kọ́ wo ni ẹ̀yin ń kọ́ ọmọ? Ṣé ẹ̀kọ́ àlàáfíà ni or wàhálà? What kind of information are you giving your children? Is it the one that will promote peace or the one that will lead to chaos? Value erosion is another form of destruction that we are facing. There's an increase in rape cases. Incest is another one, including those between siblings, mothers and sons illicit relationship. Fathers impregnating his daughter, Idowu 2024. There are sites on social media that are promoting illicit sexual relationship. Legal killings for wealth is another one. In order to be fame, among others, Kilefede Alaye, Technical Sidari, what do you want to become in life? That you think you are the first to become it. That warranted it for you to take the life of your fellow human beings. What about drug abuse? Is another issue. The use of marijuana, known as eja, cough syrup, is another form of drug that is being abused. Tramadol is still there, which has led to liver problem, depression, mental health disorders. Along our major roads, we will see youth along the way. If this problem should continue, despite the fact that youth are leaders of tomorrow, what will become of our future if the problem of drug abuse continues? Yahoo is another case study. The rise in the internet scam, particularly Yahoo Plus, is disturbing, where internet fraud is combined with ritual practices. The popularization of fraud in popular culture, particularly in music, encourages young Nigerians to consider internet fraud as a viable option. Songs like Sophie by Naira Marley and Living Things by Night tend to praise cybercrime. Adegbede and Gbadamosi 23, Afolabi and Loxi 2022. O lè ní everybody ẹni ilẹ̀ bá káwọn ní bàrà.
Wọ́n sọ pé òmò náírà.
Wọ́n sọ pé òmò náírà. Owó nìkan ló lè ṣe é. Great culture of ọmọlúwàbí. We also have parents now that they said that the mothers of Yahoo boys. Owó pẹ́ lórí tí gbogbo ayé ń kọ́. Níbo là ń báyé lọ? There's an increase. The act of indecent dressing does not be promoted. Iṣẹ́ àti lówó. Money. Wọ́n ṣáṣẹ́ lórí mọ́jú. The effect of erosion of value is causing societal instability, development imbalance, and moral collapse. A lot of children leaving school or not going to school at all, especially those from rural or conflict regions. Examination malpractice is on the increase. What about school cultism? For instance, in Ogun State, a secondary school between 15 and 16 years were arrested on cultist activities within the school premises. Imagine if they start from secondary school, what we have by the time they are in higher institution? They will have become threat to their parents, to the family, to the society, even to the university. That is for us to look at it. Gender-based violence is another effect of value erosion. There is also increase in graduate unemployment as well as underemployment. Addressing this issue requires collaboration from families, religious institutions, educational bodies, media, and governments. Collective efforts is what we need to promote. AI and education is another issue. Similarly, the widespread application of artificial intelligence has impacted the education industry, transforming how students learn, the structure teach, and examinations are conducted. AI-driven tools provide real-time access to information, You don't need to need physical teacher before you can learn. Personalized instruction is also promoted. However, it has also raised concern over the reduced active engagement as students can deliver instant solutions back to the sender at the expense of conceptual understanding. Before, as a teacher or as a lecturer, the way you grade your student, from the score you can say whether learning has taken place. But with this area of augmented AI learning answer, how do you want to determine it? This has led to debate about the initial returns of the roles of educators and the extent to which AI should replace human instruction. Educators now face the challenge of ensuring students learn in-depth rather than relying on AI-augmented answers. Consequently, instruction are reworking evaluation methods to uphold academic honesty in an AI-augmented learning space. Science Direct 2023. Mr. Dixon, social learning and experiential methods are highly relevant for social studies as they explain the process of learning and develop in relation to one's surroundings and other individuals. Through the integration of social learning and experiential approaches in social studies, educators will be able to achieve the objective of the subject, which is to develop active participation among learners and citizens, empathy that is made for us to appreciate one another, constructive critique of social issues, and desirable civic participation. Unlike before, when there is accident, you will see people coming up and down to rescue the victims. But now, they will take their phone. They want to snap. They want to be the first person to post it online. They will also be checking them so that they can take their money. The Lord will help us. In an increasingly interconnected and complex world, the traditional division of knowledge into disciplinary silos have become inadequate for addressing social challenges. Gbadamosi 2020, Amosun, and Gbadamosi 2018. For example, psychology may focus on individual behavior, but overlook socio-cultural context. Political science may analyze governance structure without considering economic and historical factors, unlike social studies, which is a discipline that stands out to break down the barriers among disciplines, offering a comprehensive framework for understanding human society, as the year 2022, Yusuf 2021. Its key instruments include holistic perspective, contextual awareness, real-world relevance, which implies that through social studies, our learners can be equipped with skills to address contemporary challenges such as global conflicts, migration, and sustainable development. The role and dimension of social learning. Mr. Lisa and our neighbor audience. Social learning is a powerful answer to many social problems. This approach perceives learning as a social phenomenon in which interaction, dialogue on conversation, and reflection among peers, teachers, and community is essential. The development of individual or group understanding, Badura 1977, Biesa 2021. History learning strategies are incorporated into school curricula. Students will learn how to think critically, empathize, participate actively in decision making, and solve political polarization. Over-reliance of technology will also be addressed. Freedom and School 2023, Gbadamosi 2021. There are different forms of social learning. Among them are through observation. We can make use of video modeling and peer teaching. Collaborative learning is another form of social learning. Teachers actually working together in group in order to share their experiences and also develop instructional strategies. We also have community of practice. Birds of a feather flock together. People with similar interests, values, or behaviors tend to associate with each other. Gen Z generation our myth knows how to collaborate. Am I right? Yes. There's been for us to make use of their energy in a meaningful way. Network learning is another form of social learning. It connects individuals online, enabling learning through social media and other online activities. Akiboju, Akiyemi, Eyotola Remu, 2024, Gbadamosi, 2027. The use of social learning strategies have been found to improve cognitive dimension of learning. Behavioral change, emotional change, it can make us to develop collaboration. Our students should not collaborate for nonsense, but they should collaborate to promote learning, to address issues in their community, in the society. We can also promote social emotional resilience among learners through social learning. We also have experiential approaches. There are methods of instruction that involve active participation of students in real-life events rather than simply listening to a lecture. Lecture promotes memorization, regurgitation, la cram, la pour. But through experiential approaches, we can promote meaningful learning. Experiential learning is backed by US Learning by Dream framework of 1938 and also covers experiential learning of 1984, which both contended that students achieve deeper understanding when they actively interact with their surroundings, reflect on their encounter, and implement their knowledge in practical scenarios. Seeing is believing. 2 weeks ago, the Oyo people celebrated the enthronement of New Alaafin. Then when the press people interviewed the Oyo and their friends, they said this is a lifetime event, which implies that when our students have the opportunity to be exposed to real life scenarios, experiences, it is permanent. They us to embrace experiential learning. The dimension of experiential learning can be relied upon include internship and cooperative education, where students partake in direct work within specific industries. We also have service learning. Service learning combines community service with academic learning, in which students go out to community to solve problems such as social problems, environmental problems. And during the course of doing it, they are learning and they are also addressing problems. Service learning enables us to connect civic engagement, academic study, and practical experience, which is in line with 3 functions that we are expected to perform as an institution: teaching, research, and community service. But you all agree with me that we focus more on teaching and research, neglecting community service. But through service learning, we can combine the 3. Both students and lecturers benefit from it. Society will also be our learning environment. The issue of the paper for promotion is not complete, is not enough, will be addressed because society, environment will be your lab. When we look at that picture, we also have the enable us to connect the industry with the community, to connect the industry with the university. There is a gap between industry and the university. But when we embrace that service learning, the industry will understand what we are talking about, and we're able to improve teaching and learning that will produce results-oriented learners. We also have community-based service learning. For instance, educational students, in conjunction with Emmanuel College, Orita UI, address environmental discussion through a school cleanup program. Another one is project-based service learning, whereby students equip with vital problem-solving skills by addressing well-defined challenges. For instance, we had lab to whiteboard projects commissioned by former Dean of Faculty of Education, Professor C.O. Kolawole. We also have another form of project-based learning, financial literacy campaign, in conjunction with Ojo Microfinance to address loan-saving culture among the artisans. It was discovered that regardless of the years spent by the apprentices, after 10 years or even 8 years, they will still go to Lagos to go and look for money for freedom, quote and unquote. Despite the fact that they have access to daily income, but they fail to save it. But as a result of that project-based learning, university students, they went to a job through that microfinance bank, they trained the artisans, and there was an improvement in their saving culture. We also have footballing, up Chelsea. Yes, that school, they said that They want to improve their footballing skills, and University of Ibadan students, they went there to address it. We also have another one, which is renovation of educational management record book at the Faculty of Education here. Another form of project-based learning is mapping of Faculty of Education by the geography students and economics. The next one is civic engagement and advocacy service learning. Through civic engagement and advocacy service learning, students were able to address some of the environmental, social problems and political problems. For instance, the students from the Faculty of Law discovered that there is no awareness about alternative dispute resolution. What community, the market women have studied their market, men and women, apologies to our money. What they were familiar with is court. When there is quarrel between neighbor, they will go to court. Landlord and tenant, court. The Mamalaje and Babaloja, court. But they now went there to let them know that there is alternative ways of solving problems through ADR, alternative dispute resolution method. And they went there, and market women, they discover that they can solve the problem. And that project publicized the Oyo State Mediation Center, and from there they have better patronage. The last one is service learning, which can be done virtually. The next is field-based service learning, which is common in abroad. And I also facilitated entrepreneurship training at HQ Hub to promote entrepreneurial intention and skills. Mr. Dean, sir, and the wonderful audience. Each of the experiential learning approaches provide insight into how higher education institutions around the globe are actively engaging using inquiry-based, collaborative, and project-based learning to prepare students with global perspective and practical skills to meet 21st century challenges and disruption. Mr. Dean, sir, in the course of my career, teaching, research, and community service activity, I've been focused on areas of social and experiential learning. Permit me at this juncture to present some of the research findings that are useful in countering disruptions. It's evident that these collaborative approaches contribute not only to academic achievements, but also to the restoration of traditional values, which are undergoing disintegration, and there's been for us to reinforce it. The study by Gbadamosi 2016 addressed the neglect of environmental curriculum in traditional pedagogy, highlighting the impact of teachers' low environmental advocacy on effective climate change teaching. The relationship between human beings and environment is like a web. You cannot separate human beings from the environment. The way we handle our environment, that's the way we are going to meet it. There's need for us to protect the environment. But if we want to do it, we need to start from school. Hence, we need to incorporate green economy principles into teacher training curriculum to include learners with practical sustainability skills. We want to address climate change issue. The study on flipped learning in economics, Gbadamosi 2017, attribute those student participation to rigid, outdated teaching practice, which are now necessary for digitalized literacy. The integration of technology with active learning will promote interaction among students, enhancing the positive impact of collaborative learning in the community. The gap between theoretical knowledge and practical expression application leading to low creativity and high unemployment. There is no family. Okay, to some extent, high rate of unemployment is common in most families. We have this issue of Japa syndrome. Why do they want to leave Nigeria? It's because of unemployment. But as a result of Gbadamosi 2018 and 2014, it was suggested that there is need for us to promote hands-on learning, whereby we'll be able to promote skills that will make students to be ready, the graduates, for the work market. From the perspective of closing the gap between academic work and the employer's expectation, as we have Gbadamosi 2023, reported that there is a significant gap between employer's expectation and the skilled graduate process, leading to Japa syndrome. where graduates seek opportunity abroad. The evidence suggested that holding a degree does not guarantee employment. Rather, learning by doing through internship, service projects, part-time employment develop adequate competency such as network learning, communication skills, collaboration, and critical thinking. Gbadamosi, Orimadego, and Oche, 2024. The problem of social unrest is another form of destruction among learners at secondary school. It was also reported that there is need for us to embrace social learning within the school in order to promote dialogue that improves educational outcomes. Transformative teacher education is also essential, as well as reflective teaching practice. Value erosion and a lack of entrepreneurship disposition among youth hinder national development. Mr. Dean, sir, Gbadamosi 2020 revealed that there is need for us to reorient our learners through social studies that will empower them to develop entrepreneurial skills, civic responsibility. On pages of the newspaper, even among us, if we should have, what can you say about our leaders? We realize that there is disconnection between the followers and the leaders, because when they were outside, they were not part of us. But through social studies, learners can develop social orientation. They can develop their civic responsibility. By the time that they become leaders, they will know what others are feeling. Omumi and Gbadamosi 2020 also discovered that there is an inadequate entrepreneurial skills among graduates, which contributed to youth unemployment, another form of destruction. There is need for us to integrate true entrepreneurship into teacher education curriculum through experiential learning approaches like community-based excursion, guided inquiry, and value clarification techniques. Conclusion. Mr. Dean, sir, and distinguished audience, I have in this lecture discussed the disruption in the society, the ability of education to tackle these challenges, how to equip students with the tools necessary to survive, and the necessity of using social learning and other experiential methods to solve educational problems in the 21st century. Social learning and experiential approaches enable us to observe real-life situations. We also enable educators and policymakers to formulate strategic solutions to the complex problems facing Nigeria's educational system, thereby building a more resilient and value-driven society. In summary, reimagining education in Nigeria necessitates a transformative shift that combines social learning and experiential approaches to effectively address multifaceted disruption in the 21st century. Recommendations. Mr. Dean, sir, to address these disruptions and value this situation, there is need for us to have a coordinated, multi-stakeholder approach in order to move forward. University authorities should organize regular workshops and in-service training that emphasize service learning, collaborative learning, and reflective practice that can help teachers, lecturers to internalize and appropriate value-based pedagogy. Experiential learning bridges the gap between theory and practice. Faculty members should integrate decision-making and conflict resolution processes to the curriculum. We should also foster peer mentoring and group discussions among learners so that they can be able to collaborate and move forward, and we are able to have meaningful interaction. Public-private partnership is also important. We need to go beyond 4 walls of the classroom. The industries are waiting for us. We also make our interaction, we also make the curriculum to be relevant to the needs of society. Effective monitoring and evaluation framework is also important. If we are going to meet the 21st century needs of our learners, there is need for us to have evaluation. It shouldn't be only during the accreditation period that we evaluate and we are moving up and down to look for resources. But through self-evaluation, course lecturers can evaluate themselves at the end of the exercise. The students also, they can evaluate us. The community partners, they can evaluate us. It's for improvement. Award of recognition is another form of promoting social learning. University management should recognize faculty members and students who are involved in social learning as essential approaches. Through nominations, we can nominate them and then soon they will be celebrated. This will enable us to reduce memorization, to enable us to de-emphasize lecture method. Mr. Dean, sir, ladies and gentlemen, let me leave us with John Dewey's word, which says, if we take today's students as we taught yesterday, we rob them of tomorrow. If we take today's students as we taught yesterday, we rob them of tomorrow. This implies that clinging to outdated teaching methods limits our students' future. By merging learning with service, we create transformative, hands-on experiences that empower students to tackle real-world challenges, integrate social learning, and experiential approaches into our education system will lead to enable us to meet 21st century challenges. When learning meets service, life changes. Acknowledgement. First and foremost, I give all glory and thanks to Almighty God for His wisdom, guidance, and strength which have sustained me throughout my academic career and made this moment possible. I appreciate the esteemed Dean of Faculty of Education, Professor Ohe Adebeshon, for his unwavering career, a goal for life, which continues to inspire excellence within our faculty. My sincere gratitude also goes to all members of staff of this office, FO, and CTC and Co. Thank you. To my mentors, when I saw Daddy, Emeritus part of my hair, Daddy gave me an assignment and I'm still on it. But I can see that Daddy can see that I'm working. Professor S. Wachitobi, J. Wajiboye, my academic grandfather, P.A. Amosun, Ayatola Aremu, A.B. Ekola, J. Adeleke, O.A. Muronkola, Baba Aderoye, and others. Your encouragement, collaboration, and dedication to scholarship have been valuable to my academic goals. I also applaud all professors and doctors in my department, the largest department in the whole world. I deeply appreciate your insights. Working alongside so brilliant minds has been a privilege, and I value each of you. Thank you. I also appreciate the non-teaching staff of this great department. Thank you. I want to acknowledge the contribution of all committees and units. I'm very grateful. I thank my elders and colleagues who ensure this lecture is of good standard. There was a time I tried to dodge some people at the faculty. I parked my car at the back so that they don't know that I'm around. Thank you. I am grateful to my friends, senior colleagues and colleagues in the University of Ibadan community for your guidance, prayers, and gifts. My teacher, Mr. Barrister Oladejo, he taught me economics at Gbadamosi Tolulope. Daddy, please stand up for your donation. Thank you. I'm very grateful. To my fellow learning society and professional bodies, with the Association of Women in Science, Developing Countries, please stand up for recognition. OWSA, Ibadan chapter, thank you for coming. Susan, are you here? All Susan. We also have Education Collaborative Network, the Association of Service Learning, among others. I'm very grateful. Being part of such esteemed organization has enriched my career. I also appreciate all my undergraduate and postgraduate students. Thank you. Thank you. God bless you. I also appreciate my research team. Service Learning and Employability, University of Ibadan. Professor Olufoyi Ifashai. Dr. Bose Orimadegun and Bukola Uche. I love you. My thanks also goes to COVID-19 and other related diseases research team. I'm very grateful. All students of my alma mater, United Secondary School Agugo, Ibadan. Please stand up for recognition. We also have our students here in uniform. I'm very grateful. Thank you for the support. Central College of Education Oyo of Sakwet. God bless you. The staff from Nala University of Education, please stand up for recognition. I'm very grateful. Thank you for coming. Thanks to all my friends. I'm very grateful. To my pastor, Reverend Gbadamosi, and my territorial members of Grace and Baptist Church, Monia, I'm very grateful. Holy Baptist Church, thank you very much. It's a surprise. God will surprise you. Your spiritual guidance, prayers, and encouragement is the source of strength in this journey. I thank the King and by your Lord, I'm very grateful for supporting my family during my PhD program. I would like to thank my in-laws, Gbadamosi. God bless you for accepting me. Your encouragement means the world to me. I'm also deeply grateful to all dignitaries, Honorable Barrister Farito, and others, you are recognized. To my siblings and their spouses, and other family members of Abidjanori, Baba Gbegi, Ekwefuwa, Baba Krishola, God bless you, sir. Your love, sacrifice, and steadfast belief in me have been greatest source of strength. To my beloved parents, Pastor Josiah and Evangelist Mary Olatude, I am very grateful. I remember that day when I was looking for admission to University of Ibadan here during my undergraduate. I came home late. My mom said, "Come out here for admission. Show it one." And I said, "No, am I worried? God with you." And God has done it. I turned out glory to Him. Lastly, to my immediate family, my children, Erioluwa, Yangoluwa, and Alioluwa. You are my pillars of strength. Thank you. My sweetheart, the Gbadamosi, the only sugar in my tea, my honey, my dear, thank you for your love and your love, patience, and my patience. And I want you to believe in me. Thank you. God bless you. I will see your laptop. You will not see your phone again in this house. Go and eat. Go and sleep. Enough is enough. Do you want to do examination? Your sacrifices, support and constant encouragement have been strengthened in shaping my path. Once again, my deepest gratitude to every one of you. May we continue to learn, inspire, and uplift one another in our pursuit of knowledge and excellence. Thank you, and may God bless us all. Olúwa ti ṣe ohun ńlá sí ẹnìkan kan kò lè ṣe.
For the Vice Chancellor, lead, followed by the lecturer, the UL. Okay. All right. Thank you very much for your presence and participation at this academic ritual. The Lord will guide you as you go back to your destinations. Let me quickly say that there's a provision made for light entertainment for university staff and students